Piling equipment specialist Watson and Hillhouse, global agents for the revolutionary Kowan Stillworker static load, noiseless and vibration-free sheet piling machine, introduce the new Kowan jet reel system. The jet reel system can be fitted to all Kowan's Stillworker models and is used with a water jetter to supply high-pressure water to the toe of the pile. Water jetting is used to assist pile installation. The new Kowan jet reel system has been designed to provide a much safer and more efficient way of water jetting piles than the traditional metal lance system. The metal lance assembly consists of lance assembly including nozzle, high-pressure hose, lance clips. To install piles with the metal lance system, a lance assembly is laid into the in-pan section of the pile. A plate, already welded to the lance, is tack welded to the top of the pile. Lance clips are placed over the lance at various intervals and welded to the pile. Welding of the lance plate and the lance clips ensure the lance assembly is securely attached to the pile. A high-pressure hose is connected to the water jetter and to the top of the lance. When the hose is attached, the crane lifts the pile into the Stillworker chuck. After the pile has been lowered into the chuck, the operator clamps the pile using the remote control and carefully interlocks it into the previously installed pile. When the pile is in position, the water jetter is turned on and the operator presses the pile into the ground. Once the pile is installed, a piling hand attaches a quick-release shackle to the top of the lance. The lance plate weld is broken by the hydraulic jaws within the chuck, and the lance assembly is lifted out and laid into the next pile. The new Kowan jet reel system replaces the metal lance assembly and has been designed to reduce piling injuries and promote safer working practices. As no lance assemblies need to be welded into each pile, it also increases pile production, saving the contractor time and money. The jet reel system consists of the drum assembly and non-stretch high-pressure hose, the nozzle, the chuck hose guide roller, the nozzle holder casting, the remote control. Prior to the Stillworker arriving on site, the drum assembly and chuck hose guide roller are assembled onto the top of the mast. Before each pile is installed, a nozzle holder is welded to the bottom of each pile. The nozzle holder secures the nozzle during pile installation and is left in the ground with the installed pile. Once completed, the crane lifts the pile and lowers it into the chuck. After the pile has been lowered into the chuck, the operator clamps the pile using the remote control and carefully interlocks it into the previously installed pile. The non-stretch hose is lowered by pressing the release button on the jet reel remote control and is guided through the center of the chuck hose guide roller. The guide keeps the hose vertical, ensuring the hose cannot be damaged in the chuck jaws. The nozzle on the end of the hose is placed into the nozzle holder and secured with a pin. The pin prevents the nozzle accidentally releasing out of the nozzle holder. The pile is ready to be installed. During pile installation, the jet reel drum is synchronized with the Stillworker mast movements, meaning the hose and pile are installed simultaneously. During installation, the water jetter pressure is adjusted to suit the soil conditions. Once the pile is installed, the operator presses the retract button on the jet reel remote control. As the drum pulls up the hose, the pin holding the nozzle in the nozzle holder is broken, allowing the nozzle and hose to be retracted. In the unlikely event that the nozzle detaches from the nozzle holder during operation, or the operator forgets to turn off the water jetter, the nozzle has been specifically designed so that the nozzle and hose remain static to prevent injury to the site personnel. When all the piles are installed, the jet reel drum is lowered into its transport position. The benefits of the Kowan jet reel system are: all site operations are completed at ground level, ensuring site personnel safety. All the high-pressure hoses are contained within the jet reel drum instead of lying around the site, as in the case of the lance system. There is no requirement for the crane to lift lances around the site. No time-consuming welding of lance plates and lance clips to each pile. The next pile is immediately available to pitch into the chuck once the previous pile has been installed. In conclusion, the Kowan jet reel system improves pile production and is a much safer and more efficient system than the metal lance system. In addition to the jet reel system, Watson and Hillhouse are also able to offer the walk-back device. As the still worker is able to self-travel without crane assistance, the still worker will sometimes complete the piling out of the crane's lifting radius. The walk-back device is fitted into the still worker chuck and allows it to walk itself back along the piles to within the lifting reach of the crane. Also, when piles need to be extracted and the crane is not able to lift the still worker to the starting point, the still worker can walk forward along the piles with the walk-back device fitted. On sites where cranes are restricted, a crawler system can be fitted to the bottom of the still worker power pack. The crawler is remotely controlled and allows the power pack to be maneuvered around the site without the aid of a crane. Because of the still worker's compact size, and all piles are fully installed before the next pile is pitched, the still worker is ideally suited to install piles in height-restricted areas.